The holidays are about spending time with your loved ones and creating magical memories that will last a lifetime. So whether it's family and friends you haven't seen in a while, or those who you see all the time, share holiday magic this season with an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Copyright 2024, The Coca-Cola Company.
Hey, Fidelity. How can I remember to invest every month?
With the Fidelity app, you can choose a schedule and set up recurring investments in stocks and ETFs.
Oh, that sounds easier than I thought.
You got this.
Yeah, I do. Now, where did I put my keys?
You will find them where you left them.
Investing involves risk, including risk of loss. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
In this document, does something say otherwise?
Yes.
Yes. And tell me what it is.
It says if the applicant defaults on renting the property after approval.
Key, stop. After approval. Okay,
Yes.
Go ahead.
So, I canceled before I was approved.
This is the plaintiff, Megan Curran. She says she gave the defendant a deposit on an apartment she filled out an application for. And before she was approved, she told him she was no longer interested in the place. The defendant has stolen other people's money. She's not about to allow him to steal hers and is suing for the $1,795 she's owed. This is the defendant, George. He says he runs a management company with properties all over the world, and applications can take up to 60 days to be approved or rejected. And this includes a 50-credit background check. The plaintiff can't just change her mind on a whim and expect to get a refund on her deposit. Bottom line, her deposit becomes forfeited and her money stays with him. He's accused of holding on tight to a prospective tenant's bucks.
All parties, please use your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Millian in our forum, the People's Court.
People's Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Marilyn Millian is now presiding. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Curran, you are suing RDG Real Estate Development Group, represented here by Mr. George, for the return of your deposit. Tell me what happened.
I responded to an ad for a rental.
And this was in the same building where you already lived, correct?
Same complex.
Same complex?
Yes.
Okay. And it required board approval?
Correct.
Because it's a what? Condo?
An association, condo association.
All right. And why were you leaving the place you were at?
Because the rent was being raised $400.
Okay.
So I, and again, I responded to this ad. It was a gentleman, one gentleman named Carlos. Never heard anything about George or reserve condos. So I filled out an application for the credit application. I filled out the application for reserve of the association.
Yeah, that's when you heard about it, was before you gave the money, though, right? Yes, you filled out the form that has their name on. Okay, so it's not like a big surprise. Who's this guy in court? You know.
Many people.
Are you a realtor?
I am.
Okay.
13 years.
Okay, so you give the deposit, and deposits are typically non-refundable, right?
No.
Yeah, they typically are, unless something in there says otherwise.
No.
In this document, does something say otherwise?
Yes.
Yes. And tell me what it is.
It says if the applicant defaults on renting the property after approval.
Key, stop. After approval. Okay, go ahead.
So, I canceled before I was approved.
Okay. So you signed the documents August what?
19th.
And you canceled when?
August 30th.
Okay. How do you let them know that you're canceling?
I tried calling, no answer, so I sent an email.
Okay. What time is the email?
I have. It was 10. My email was at 9. Sorry. My email was sent at 9:59 a.m.
Okay.
on August 30th.
On August 30th. And when do you hear back? Up until that point, had anyone said you've been
Never
approved?
heard anything about
being
approved.
When you send the email, you send it to them?
Correct.
Okay. Not Carlos or
No,
whoever.
I talked to Carlos, and this was the email he gave me to respond.
To send to them. So the 9:59 is to them. And then what happens?
So then I get a response at 12:10, and it says, if you cancel your application, or you've been approved, and
that's the first notice you have that
Correct.
you've been approved.
Correct.
Now, okay. Let me hear from you. What's your name?
Good morning, George.
Mr. George here. Okay. Go ahead.
The applicant, as she said, applied on the 18th through one of our rental agents. The applications at this condominium are pretty extensive because it's an association.
Sure.
She was approved on the 29th. We have an internal form that we use.
Let me see that form.
Sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, stay where you are. Oh, dude, where'd you
No,
go?
I had to pop out.
I'm also going to give you the original application, Your Honor, and all the credit background checks we did. Okay.
Yeah. All right, so go ahead.
So you can see the original application is the last one. You can see it's signed that our rental agent filled out. Then we went through and we did a credit check on her. You can see that was filed on the 22nd of August.
Where do I see that?
You'll see on the first
okay,
page,
I
Your
see
Honor,
it.
on the 22nd.
Okay.
So then on the 29th, we have 3 layers of approval in our office because, we want to make sure the individual applicant is not going to have a problem paying their rent. It went through all 3 layers.
Who are the 3 layers?
They're on the bottom on the signatures there.
Who else has to approve besides you,
Once it
the
goes,
people who work for you and you?
Okay, it goes to the association.
Right. Where are the signatures from the
The
association?
association then gets a hold of us and says there are.
Where are the signatures from the association was my question.
The association doesn't sign. They call us and they tell us, because the only thing they look at are whether there's a criminal record that will not allow.
Did the association ever see this application?
The association only requires that we send them, that we're approving them. What they do then is they look at it real quickly, and if on the credit check that we send them, which you see there, we did on the 22nd, there's no criminal background per the declaration condominiums, they're automatically approved. That's right in the deck.
Listen to my question, because I think you know exactly what I'm asking. Okay? This is a very factually specific case. First of all, as a realtor, I would hope that you know that the default position on a deposit in a normal case, unless someone says otherwise, is you lose your deposit. If you change your mind, you lose your deposit. I get it, you get it, and you get it. You just lose your deposit. But that can be modified by the parties. For example, if I give you a deposit and I say it is fully refundable until a certain date, well then, by golly, it is fully refundable until a certain date. Or if I give you a deposit and it says it only becomes non-refundable after you are approved, well then, by golly, it only becomes non-refundable after you are approved. Now, we have a debate in this case. I'm going to tell you the first debate. What does approved mean? I'm sorry, that was a rhetorical question. What does approved mean? Does it mean that the client is told, congratulations?
Your Honor.
No, can you not talk over me? Why do you think that'll help? That the client is told, congratulations, and confetti and balloons come down from the sky, and the client is told, you have been approved. Because if that's the case, you owe this lady her money, because that didn't happen until after she told you, I want out. Or does approved mean approved the way it's supposed to be by the board? Okay. I can't help but notice that you guys don't even send anything to her until she says to you, I'm out. And what you send to her is signed by people who are you and people who work with you. And then every time I ask you the following question, did the board approve her? Show me board approval. Your answer is, they rubber stamp. There's actually a place they sign, isn't there?
No, there is not, Your Honor. By the condominium documents for this particular complex requires us to go through certain criteria. We go through the criteria, we follow it, and when that's why those signatures are on that first page. We follow their rules, and then once they approve, that is
What's this right here? What's this document that you gave to me that's blank?
That is sent on the 22nd. Whenever those documents are delivered with the lease after we do the approval. We have the way.
Who signs this?
This is what the applicant fills out.
No, it's a space for association manager for the reserve.
Right.
Who is the association manager?
Denise.
Okay, if denied or referred to association board, please explain. And then here it has the application has been approved, denied, referred to the board. This form, I didn't make it up. She didn't make it up.
Right.
So show me this form that's signed by the board, approved, denied by the board.
That's the management company. So the board is run by a management company. The new management company's rules requires only that we follow their rules. If there is 2 or 3 various criminal types of backgrounds, we have to deny
Mr.
them.
George, I'm not going to get lost. I need you to prove to me that the board approved her, because that's what approval means. It's not you and your employees signed something in a hustle when she bails so you can keep her $1,700. So you're going to need to prove to me the board approved. You can do it any way you like. You can do it to me. You could show me the signatures of the board on this document, which you don't have. You only gave me a blank one. You could show me, an affidavit by the board, because that's what approval means. It doesn't mean you guys approve her. It means approval. And you keep going back to the same thing. You keep telling me, oh, they just require. Don't tell me what they require. Show me that they approved her, because that's what the key is to whether or not you have to return her deposit. Prove to me the board approved her. And don't just talk around me again. Prove to me by any means necessary an email from the board, a signature of the board on this document, a signature of the board on this other document. Hold on. Oh, how about this document? Tenants and unit owners understand and acknowledge that any lease for any unit at the Reserve Condominium Association must receive the written approval of the board of the association. And there we go, no written approval by the board. So, show me something where there's written approval by the board. Yes or no, do you have it? Yes or no, do you have it?
The form that we signed is,
Do you have, this is the last time I'm asking.
No.
Then return the lady's deposit, $1,795, because that is the agreement you have with her. $1,795, verdict for the plaintiff.
So the defendant did not have the signed documents the judge asked for, and consequently he loses the case. Let's see what he has to say. George, what's your response, your reaction to the judge's decision?
I understand the judge's decision. She didn't want to take into account the internal policies put together by the board because I didn't have them in writing. But the policies of the board are, once we approve an application per their criteria, they're approved. And so since I didn't have that in writing, she didn't accept my argument.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, that's the way it goes in court. You had to have the proof. And it said she had the documents approved. The board had to have signed it.
Correct. The board in this situation never signs any of those. They haven't for years. It's all internal, and it's sent to them with our approval. As long as we follow the rules, they're approved. And then the board just accepts the lease.
Well, are you going to change the documents, or are you going to make sure the board signs these things in the future?
Right. Well, the board doesn't sign any of these in the future. It's a large complex, and that's all they'd be doing, and it's a bunch of older folks, so they put that onus on the property manager. We do it. We follow the rules. We've been doing it for years, and they've accepted it for years. But I understand the judge's argument. I accept it.
Yeah, I mean, if you brought into court again over the same situation, you're going to lose. You know that, right?
Well, we've gone to court on this issue in our county, and we've won repeatedly because that's what's in the declaration documents. And I didn't have those with me today, and it says as long as we follow the rules and we approve them per the documents, they're approved. We don't have to have the signature. That was the original application. But I understood. Right. It's fine.
Okay. Well, you understand why the judge made the decision she did.
Sure, absolutely, and I accept her decision.
She's a very nice judge. Okay. Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Good enough. All right, let's see what the plaintiff has to say about this. I'm sure she's elated. She must be. Ms. Curran?
Hi.
What are you thinking right now?
I'm happy. I mean, I think it's, justice has been done.
I mean, good for you. Did you know this is what was going to happen when you come to court?
I felt pretty confident about it, and he has a pretty bad reputation in our hometown,
Really?
so I knew I wouldn't have gotten anywhere with the small claims court. So
Yeah.
I feel pretty blessed that this came about.
Well, good for you. You made the right decision to file a lawsuit.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm happy. Yeah.
No
so
wonder. I'd be happy too if I were you.
I am. So thank you.
Okay, good enough.
All
Thank
right.
you very much.
Thanks so much.
All right. You are welcome. Well, good for her, Harvey. What are you thinking?
Well, Doug, I want to go into why the plaintiff got this deposit back. There's a principle in law. It's called the law abhors forfeitures. And what that means is that if you give money to somebody and the deal ultimately doesn't go through, then the presumption should be you get the money back unless the contract clearly says that this is non-refundable even if the deal doesn't go through. If it says that, then you're out of luck. But the presumption is that it shouldn't be a forfeiture if the deal doesn't happen.
If I organize an office pool for the lottery and I forget to put my own money in when I buy the tickets, do I still have a right to the winnings?
Do you have a right to the winnings just because, well, it was my idea, right? to have everybody throw the money in. No, I don't think you do.
I don't think so
you're
either.
out of luck, right?
What do you mean forget to put my money in? You know
honest
exactly
mistake.
how much in lottery tickets you bought.
When you walked up to the counter with the cash and bought the tickets.
You own zero of it because you put none of it. Unless the agreement was you'll organize it and for that you will get a share, which I don't think it was.
No, I doubt
based
it.
on that
I think
question.
You're out of luck, and it could be like $1 billion purse. You never know,
gosh.
right? By the way, on these lotteries, we all like to play them once in a while. Some people play them every week, every day. But the odds of you winning the big prize, the Powerball, whatever it is, that might be the huge, big number, about 1 in 292 million, usually, okay? Now, if you think
why you have to rain on my parade?
If you think those are good odds, you have a 1 in 15,000 chance of getting hit by lightning during your lifetime, okay? So it's a long, long road to that $1 billion payout.
This episode is brought to you by Google Gemini. With the Gemini app, you can talk live and have a real-time conversation with an AI assistant. It's great for all kinds of things, like if you want to practice for an upcoming interview, ask for advice on things to do in a new city, or brainstorm creative ideas. And by the way, this script was actually read by Gemini. Download the Gemini app for iOS and Android today. Must be 18 plus to use Gemini Live.
Looking for a pickup truck to get just about anything done? Look no further. The Chevy Silverado EV isn't just the most powerful Silverado ever, with next-level towing capability and technology. It also offers game-changing versatility with the available multi-flex midgate and tailgate, which means Silverado EV helps you carry large, bulky, and oddly shaped items up to nearly 11 feet in length. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. Visit Chevrolet.com to learn more.
This is the plaintiff, Manuel Phillips. He says he brought his car to the defendant's shop because he was having problems starting it up. The defendant charged him $550 for a repair. The problem, though, persisted, and when he took it to another mechanic, he was told the defendant's repair wasn't needed. That's right, he replaced a perfectly good part, which didn't need fixing. And he wants his $550 returned. That's why he's suing him. This is the defendant, Noel Dizon. He says he was hired to install a new fuse box in the plaintiff's car, and now that he has another problem with it, he wants him to fix it for free. Well, it doesn't work for free. The guy can take it to another shop to get his throttle hose fixed, and he wants nothing to do with him because he's a hothead. He's accused of not fixing the right thing. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $200 for money he mistakenly refunded.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff says the shady defendant supposedly fixed his car, but when he got it back, it had the same problem he had before he brought it in. He wants his money back. But the defendant says he fixed the fuse box on the plaintiff's car, but now he has another problem, and he's not fixing that unless he gets paid. It's the case of blowing a fuse.
Thank you, Doug.
You're welcome, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Phillips, you're suing LA Tint Incorporated, doing business as Automod Racing, represented here by Mr. Dizon, for $550 that you say they owe you and won't pay you. Tell me what happened.
Yes, Your Honor. On the 18th, I went in and took my car to him to be repaired. And
when you took your car to him to be repaired, who is it you spoke to? Do you remember?
I don't know what relation she is to him. Her name was Jean.
Is that your daughter?
Yes.
Okay. So what do you tell Jean?
I told Jean I need my car fixed.
Did you say what was wrong with it?
No, I told her it kept cutting off. It wouldn't restart after you drive it a while and it heat up and you cut it off, it wouldn't crank back up. I got a new battery, a new starter for it, and it still had the occurring problem. So I took it to them, who was supposed to be electricians, to have them fix the problem.
Okay. Did you bring a part with you?
No, the guy she had working on, a guy named Lloyd, I think he came to you too, right? Lloyd?
Just talk to me.
Oh, yeah. Lloyd.
Yeah.
Well, he told me to go find another fuse box. So I went to the recycling yard, found the fuse box for it, and they began to do the work, swapping
Wait, hold on,
fuse
slow
boxes.
down. So you went that day, you left the car with them, and then you went to the recycling place to get the fuse box? Why didn't they just get a fuse box if you brought it to them to fix?
He didn't say. He just said he needed another fuse box.
So you leave your car with them and go to the junkyard? Is that what you said?
Yeah, the car was still running. It's just
I'm just asking you what you did. You left the car with them and you went where?
To the junkyard to get
Which
the fuse
one?
box.
Where did you go?
I believe it's called AZ.
And you bought the part.
Mm-hmm.
And then you drove back there.
Mm-hmm.
And why didn't you just have them do their job? Because most people wouldn't do what you just did.
Exactly.
Right.
It was the way it was going. We stay in a rural area. You know, he didn't have the transportation to go do it. And he was like, well, you know, you got to know the fuel box. Wait, I apologize, Your Honor. Oh, that's wrong. Matter of fact, I had the fuel box.
That's what they say. That's why I'm asking you this. So you had the fuse box with you already that you had already bought. Who had you buy that, or why did you buy that?
They told me it was fuel box. They couldn't fix the.
Is it fuse box or fuel box?
Fuse.
Fuse box.
Electric.
Go on.
The ones you put the plugs in.
So you already had it with you. Why?
Right. Because they said they couldn't find a problem with it by another fuel box.
Who's they?
The guys, them.
I'm sorry, you've confused me again. Did you already have a fuse box with you before you met them?
No.
They say you did, that you came with a fuse box.
No, they told me to go buy the fuel box.
Okay, so now we're back to the first scenario, which is you go there, they say, you go buy us a fuse box.
They say
you leave
you need
your car,
another fuse box.
Then you go and get a fuse box while you, so then why did you change it and say I already had it?
I couldn't remember really, Your Honor, because like I said, I had to...
According to them, you already had it and said, put in this fuse box.
No.
Okay. So now, according to you, you go out. Now we're back to scenario one. You go out, you buy a fuse box, you come back, you give it to them because they don't have parts at this repair shop, which is very strange because that's their business.
Right.
And then then they do what they were going to do. Did anybody ever run a diagnostic?
I had to go to another shop to get a diagnostics.
No, I don't mean later when now that there's a lawsuit and everything else. I meant, did she say to you, let's run a diagnostic that'll cost you X?
No.
Okay. Did you ask them to run a diagnostic?
They said they would, upon giving them the card. They said we're going to diagnostic, find the problem, and fix it.
Well, no. One thing is finding another thing is hooking it up to the machine and all that. What was your impression?
They don't even have that equipment, Your Honor.
Okay. So you take it, you leave it with them, and they charge you $350 to put in the fuse box.
To repair whatever was wrong.
Okay. Let me talk to you, and it didn't fix it, right?
No.
What happened instead?
I end up getting the diagnostics.
Wait, no. What happened exactly? You drive away and it's driving, and then when is the first time you notice a problem?
I got stuck at going to pick my medication up from
Was this the
Walmart.
same day, the next day, a week later,
Like
when?
The next day.
Okay, the next day, what happens? When you say you got stuck, what does that mean?
I drove the car around, went to the grocery store, and went to pick up my medication from Walmart. And when I came out of Walmart, the car wouldn't crank again.
Okay,
So I
so
had
do
to
you
sit
call
there
them
about
right
an hour or
away?
two. Yes.
And you tell them the problem isn't solved, and what do they say?
They said, bring the car back in.
Okay, and you do,
Mm-hmm.
and then what happens?
Called me, says ready, go get the car, bring it back. It's the same problem kept reoccurring.
It would last how long before reoccurring?
About a day and a half.
So in a week, you brought it there 3 times, you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, do you have paperwork from each time you brought it
Yes,
there?
ma'am.
Let me see. And while he's looking for that, may I hear from you, Mr. Dizon? Do you remember this case actually or no?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. And so what happened here?
I was on vacation when all this thing happened. I
Oh,
was
so then
out
how do
of
you
the
remember this
country.
case? You just know it because people talk to you. You weren't present. You don't have firsthand knowledge.
Thank you.
Okay,
So
all right, go
anyways,
on.
he showed up about last week, and I was new to the case. I didn't even know about it until while he was there, I told him to give me a chance to understand what happened here. So I had my technician talk to me over the phone. It was on speaker, and Mr. Phillips was present in front in the counter, and he was listening to everything that happened, that whatever my technician said. So he explained to me everything, and I came back to Mr. Phillips, but he doesn't seem like he's willing to listen to me because he already knew the story that my guy
Okay, my
was
question
saying.
to you is this. Did, when he came to get a repair, did he already have the fuse box?
Actually, the day before he came to bring the fuse box, he came to notify us that he's coming to have his car fixed. So the following day, he came with the fuse box.
Okay, but why is the tail wagging the dog? You're supposed to be the experts. Why don't you tell him what's wrong with his car?
Actually, this is what happened. My technician, when he was talking to Mr. Phillips, my technician told him, we will need to do a diagnostic for us to understand. So we are not like grabbing this from the dark. We have to understand first what's going on. He said, no, I already bought this from the auction, this car, and I have a used fuse box here. I just want you to put it in. I don't have to pay for diagnostic. I just need you to put this in.
Okay, is all of that written on the receipt?
Yes.
No, it's not. I'm looking at the receipt. This is August 18. It just says fixed fuse box at $350.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Upgrade your business with Shopify, home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning fewer carts going abandoned and more sales going cha-ching. So if you're into growing your business, get a commerce platform that's ready to sell wherever your customers are. Visit Shopify.com to upgrade your selling today.
When a customer rejects your advice, you're supposed to put it on the receipt so that you don't get blamed later. Huh?
That he declined.
Yes. And that's not on here, is it? Do you
No,
have
it's
something
not.
else where it's on there?
It's not.
Right.
Because that is what was ordered to us.
It doesn't
So
matter.
that's what
No,
we-
I don't know that. From looking at this, I don't know that. You know? And so, you know, what you have to say is we offered this, customer declined the service, blah, blah, blah. That's how you protect yourself. But in any event, you had said that I'm going to see 3 different times that you bring the car back. I only see what you've handed me, which is the first time when they charge you $350, and then the second time when they give you $200 back.
Right.
Right. Where are the other 2 times you brought it in? There's no paperwork from that?
Between those two
How many
cut
times did he
dates,
bring it in?
I would say, according to my guys, about 3 or 4 times.
Okay, what would your guys do all the other times?
They were just checking that fuse box if there's anything wrong with it, because that was what was contracted to us to do.
So they're going to waste 4 times doing something that because that's what he said to do, instead of trying to figure out what's wrong with the car?
Well, the third time that he came in, my guy observed that the battery post is corroded, so they replaced that battery post for him.
At no charge?
No, he paid like $20 for the battery post.
Did you pay $20 to?
ma'am.
Yeah.
And I didn't need
okay.
it.
So and then what?
That's about it. They just
All right.
check
So you
everything.
come in on September 16th, which is a month later, and you're angry that this isn't working. When did you take it to someone else?
Right here, Your Honor.
Was it before you went to their shop on September 16th?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I figured. So you
It's
took
right
it somewhere
here.
else,
No.
and what did those folks
Before
tell
I
you?
took them to them? No.
Wait, what?
The only thing I had done to the car, because when I bought it from the auction, you buy as is.
Right.
And that's it. So I'm basically was troubleshooting it myself, end up buying a starter.
Oh, that's just what they were
saying. You know, and it still had the same
That you
problem.
bought it at auction and you're troubleshooting it yourself, and that's the problem. You misdiagnosed that it was a fuse box.
This was
All right,
way
just hold on
before.
1 second. What I want to see is, when do you find out what action? Okay, so this is on August 30th. This makes sense. You take it to Firestone, and they do a $110 diagnostic,
Yes, ma'am.
which you were trying to avoid,
Right.
and which is exactly what they say. And then
No, they were
intermittent no
supposed to do
start is warm,
diagnostics.
check tire service light,
I ain't no
customer.
electrician. I
Can
don't
you
know
stop
what to do.
talking?
Yes, ma'am.
Check tire service light, customer requested service, inflated tires to manufacturer specs, no issue found with no start. So they couldn't diagnose it either after you paid them the $110.
May I explain?
Yeah.
Okay, the problem was the box is plastic. So he said every time it get hot, it expand and the connection with
The box you bought?
the box that was in the car.
The box that you bought?
The box, I don't know if they swapped it or if he took parts off of it and swapped them in and out. I don't know what
Well,
they
you
did.
have
I'm
no
not
evidence of that.
electrician.
The box that you paid them to install that you bought at a junkyard is plastic and was getting hot, so it shouldn't be made out of plastic? I don't know what you're trying to say.
No, Your Honor, the car was having an issue before I bought the box. The whole new box was for that to, I don't know
So
what they
Firestone
were doing. He
told
me
you
to
the
go get
box
another
you
box.
bought.
No, Firestone said the box that was in there, they couldn't find the problem because the problem hadn't occurred. You understand what I'm saying?
Not in the slightest.
I'm sorry. Okay.
So I'm looking at what Firestone wrote. What they said is, we can't find a problem for why it's
Right.
not starting.
The only problem
they
they
charged you
found was the brake.
$110 and gave you no solution, which is exactly what you were
Right.
trying to avoid. Then I see that you took it somewhere else.
Once the problem started occurring again.
Well, no, the problem had already occurred because you already brought it to them for that. You brought it to them.
That's
You
what
told
I
me it was
trying to
happening every
explain
2
to you
days.
What was going on when the box cools off, the connection come back and the car starts back up.
So on 9/9, you brought it to a third place. It says, diagnosed
Advanced,
engine does not
yes.
crank or start after being driven. Found broken ground wire for starter relay. Tech, Jose, broken air pipe to throttle body. What's that mean?
The throttle body was messed up before I took it to these guys. And after he did his last repair on it,
So they charged you what for the broken throttle body?
There's $300, and I didn't pay it yet because I haven't had the repair done yet. Because it wasn't nothing wrong with the car, Your Honor. The car ran perfect.
They
as
also
far as-
didn't put customer decline, which
Other
is
than
what they
it
should
not
put. So what's the
cranking.
100? So you paid another $100 for a diagnostic, and then $150 for them to fix the ground wire. Did that end up solving it?
Yes.
Okay, so it turns out you didn't spot it, he didn't spot it, Firestone didn't spot it.
Advanced technology.
Advanced spot it. Woohoo! Advanced level
Yes.
automotive.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So then now on September 16th, a few days after you take it to Advance, you go back to their store and you have a discussion with this gentleman's daughter. You're still on vacation, and what happens?
She told me, well...
What'd you say? You walk in and you talk first. What'd you say?
I said, well, y'all didn't fix the problem. I had to take my car to another shop, pay them to fix it. I want my money back.
What'd she say?
She said, well, she didn't want to pay me.
Right.
So that's when I went to the courts out there and filed the papers and brought the papers back. I was there at their business.
Okay, but you just showed her, look, I've got paperwork, I'm serious.
Yes.
Okay, and then what happens?
And then she said, well, could I give you $200 for you
And what
not
did you
to?
say?
I said, yes, I agreed to it. And
Okay, now, so that's what we call in the law an accord and satisfaction. You guys settled it out of court, and then you came and sued for the rest of it anyway. In fact, you're suing for a lot more than it.
With the promise, Your Honor, that she will give me the $150 back when her pops returned in October.
I'm sorry, where is that on the piece of paper that she gave you that
That's on the other
day?
paper. That's why she wrote the little underline under the 200, because she still owed me $150.
I'm sorry. All this says on the total
No,
is
on the other
200.
Yeah.
That's all it says.
Okay,
and then
so
is
she
that
put
your
a little
signature
note
here?
under
Yeah.
it.
Your signature acknowledging getting the 200.
Yes, ma'am. But
Right. How
with
is
the
that
promise-
supposed to? I'm sorry. I've been doing this so long. How old are you?
I'm 53.
Yeah. I've been doing it almost as long as you've been alive.
Wow, you don't look that old.
I'm 61. I've been doing it since I was 23. I need you to listen to what I am telling you. This is a document that has you acknowledging receiving $200 as a settlement?
No.
Then prove it's not. Because that's what these documents are. Just a second. When someone you're having a dispute with says, will you take $200 and you take it, they don't expect you to sue them later for $500 on a $350 bill. Don't talk and listen. So what they expect is that it's done, that they've managed the problem and you're not going to file a lawsuit. If you want me to believe that the $200 was a down payment, show me a written document that says that. Do you have another written document?
It was word to word, Your Honor.
Watch this. Your daughter, you come home and your daughter tells you she gave him $200 to go away. Why did your daughter give him the $200?
Because he was raising hell in the shop, and my daughter was threatened that my company is going to be sued. So my daughter said, you know what? I'm not authorized to give a refund here until...
She's the manager.
Yes. So she's
obviously authorized because she took the $200 and gave it to him.
Yeah, she said, okay...
You got mad at your daughter for giving the $200, didn't you?
I was pissed.
Because?
Because out of principle, she's not supposed to do that, whichever practice she was doing out of her own good heart or out of just embarrassment. Because she doesn't want other customers to be hearing.
Were there other customers there?
I'm sorry?
Were there other customers there?
Yes.
All right. So how old is your daughter? How old is your daughter?
She's about 42.
Oh, she's a woman. And so has she been working there for how long?
She's been there for three years.
And what's her title?
Sorry, for 3 months.
3 months, okay.
3 months, but she came from...
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
She came from the Philippines just to stand for me as a manager while I was gone.
So she's no longer the manager?
Not anymore, she just left yesterday.
Back to the Philippines?
Yes.
Okay. So she gives him the $200 to make him go away. And then he doesn't go away, and now you're really mad about that $200, and you want him to return the $200 to you.
No, I only got mad when I found out.
Because you have a counterclaim against him for the $200.
Yeah, I was only mad when I found out that she did that. She said, "No, Dad, that's my money. I just gave it to him just for him to go away."
Wait, she gave it out of her own money?
Her own money.
And you're still mad?
I'm still mad? Yes, I am, because of what she did. I think that's
Did you pay her back the $200 out of the corporate funds?
No. No.
Did you pay her to cover for you?
Yes.
I hope you paid her handsomely.
She did. I did.
Okay. Folks, let me tell you what this is. This is what we call in the law a settlement. And if you want to prove otherwise, you better come in here with something other than your flapping gums. Because when you accept $200 from someone who says, will you accept $200? When you're having a dispute with them, you say, you owe me my money back. I'm not going to give you your money back. Well, I want my money back. I really do want it. And she says, will you take $200? You take $200. You don't get to come to court and sue for an additional $550. But also, I say to you, this is an accord and satisfaction. So you also can't file the counterclaim against him. So on your counterclaim 0, and on your claim against him, shouldn't have taken the $200 if that wasn't enough. Verdict for the defendant.
Thank you.
So in the suit and countersuit between these two parties, it ends up a 0-0 tie. Nobody gets anything. Let's see how Mr. Phillips feels. He's the plaintiff in this case. Mr. Phillips, what's your reaction to the judge's verdict? You don't get anything.
Well, I really don't like it. And my issue is, why would she tell me she'll give me the 150 up on her father's return, and why would I come back to the shop for the 150 if that wasn't true?
You couldn't prove she said that.
True.
So that's your problem.
I know. And I know not to make that mistake again.
All right, Mr. Phillips, thank you very much.
Okay.
Let's see what the defendant feels about this. He'd been suing for $200. He's not going to get that either. Mr. Dizon, what's your feeling?
I say justice is served. That's all I can say.
Well, that's good enough. If justice is served, you're in the right place. You're in a courtroom, and that's the way it goes in court. Okay? You learn anything from this experience?
Nothing really, because everything that we had done is within industry standard.
You think this happens again, your daughter would refund money like she did with Mr. Phillips?
I don't think that would happen, because now she's back to the Philippines where she was before.
Well, absolutely she won't be giving it back if she's in the Philippines. No question about that. All right. Thank you very much, okay? That's the way it goes. Harvey, what are you thinking?
So, Doug, this is a case where you get one bite of the apple. If you settled the case, even if you settle it for less than you think you deserve, you can't go back into court and say, look, I want the rest of my money. Once you actually engage in a settlement and it's a done deal, that's it. You can't return for a second chance.
What is the one item of John's you'd like to burn, and vice versa?
Do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first?
You've got some shoes that have gotten long in the tooth
Oh
that
my
maybe.
God. I have shoes that are 30 years old.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Right?
Some of them need to go. You need to kind of spruce
They're
that
so
up.
They're coming back into style.
Except for that they have 30 years of wear on them.
Right, and holes in the bottom.
They're ridiculous. You should get rid of them. A couple of them. Yeah. I mean, you're pretty up to date on your clothes, except for your T-shirts.
I've got some T-shirts that you could read a newspaper through.
Yeah, those
They've
are
been
the
washed
best,
so
though.
many times.
The
there's
kids
nothing
and I
left.
love those.
They're soft. They're so thin. There's nothing left of them. They're 30
Some of them are
years old.
holy. They just have holes all over
Yes,
them.
yes, absolutely.
I don't mean the good holy either. They're ridiculous. But then some of them are great, like old band shirts and stuff, and so they're kind of fun.
Yeah, from way back.
And you have Buffalo Police Department shirts from when your parents were cops. And
I have that one shirt I have from the Buffalo Police Athletic Club is probably 40 years old.
Right. And one of the girls took it, and the other girls got really mad.
Right. They've taken so many of my shirts, all my old
They're
law
inveterate
enforcement
thieves.
shirts,
Yeah.
Operation Greenback, this other stuff. But I got to show you. I have a picture of something.
I didn't approve this. Hold on.
Something that you have gotten a lot of mileage out of wearing. So
I'm gonna kill you in a second.
Don't get mad. Now wait a minute. Here we go. These pajamas have been worn absolutely to death. All right.
You know what? I'm going to wear them every day for the rest of my life now. I'll teach you.
They're getting threadbare.
I love those pajamas. You know what? I'm wearing them every day, and I'm throwing out your shoes. How's that?
I'll get back at you.